Jamie, aka Dracula, and I wanted to talk about the importance of inspiration and finding references, just finding influences as our artists and how to, take them in as artists. When you're making any type of art or when you're in any type of field in general, it's best to know every little thing that you can possibly know about the field that you're working in specifically. I don't know if it's because I exist in mostly a hip-hop space, but it seems like not a lot of people would take time to like study the people that came before us, or like they disregard it like it's just some old head shit. It's nothing to actually take serious or nothing like that. And if they are, showing love to it, it's like I'm paying homage with the album cover, and they're just copying the album cover and just making it worse. You know what I mean? Not really doing anything. And speaking of album covers, I look at album covers as having the same significance a Warhol or a Harrington painting had back in the day. But that importance were in that significance of like an actual piece of art that used to exist back in the day, not to sound like a pretentious asshole, but like that impact has been replaced by with like a white Young Thug album cover. And you know, it don't really hit like that. So I recently found this book. This book details the important and influential albums throughout all of history, down to hip hop, rock, jazz, whatever. Like, this really is an amazing book. And if you're having trouble finding inspiration as an artist, and you're having trouble, like if you're like trying to brainstorm something, you can't come up with something, I feel like having stuff like this is super important. The book was made by creator Wake Up Zuzi. You can find them on Instagram, where they have their own website. I'll link it down in the description. I see a lot of potential in their brand and in the platform that they're creating. It has a lot of like, the aesthetic carries a lot of early 2000s stuff, and physical media is a really big part of their branding, which I think is important. I think physical media is super important. I've detailed, my collection of CDs and albums and vinyls and stuff like that before, so, and how important that is, and how packaging and physical media as an art form is a real thing. So I think him, making that a thing in his brand is something I could really get behind and, support, which is why I want to support him in the first place. And not only that, but this book is just also an amazing concept. So we could go through the book, and I'm gonna show you some of my favorite stuff. I don't want to show you everything, because just in case you want to grab this one day and you find something that you might like, you know what I mean, and you have your own like little moments, like, oh shit, I saw this album cover, you know what I mean. But I'm just show you some of my favorites throughout the book and stuff. All right, so here's the front cover of the book. And what I like is that you can immediately see off the front cover that this book isn't just covering hip hop, it's covering many different genres. Michael Jackson's in there, Green Day, Janet Jackson, ODB, Nas, MF Doom, Jay-Z, York, Igor, Wayne, Radiohead, Nirvana, Beatles, Ramones, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of things going on. So this shows, the time span that they covered throughout this whole book. Like I said, I'm not gonna show everything, because I want you guys to be able to, have your own experience with the book, when you buy it, go through it yourselves. But my favorite part of this book is how much they break down the history and how they break down color palettes. Yeah, I'm gonna find the page. Like, yeah, you see it. So this is the album. Ooh. This is album details, and the color palette. I think that's so fucking sick. Frank Sinatra. Some Frank Zappa. You know what I mean? Crimson King. 21st century shit. And I like how some covers he really breaks down, like the extra influential and like important album covers. He'll really break down and give a whole thing to. Damn. Beatles. 70 years getting lit. Hey, they say he was motherfucker predicting Kanye West with this motherfucking album cover. Let me find out. You know what I mean? And this is cool too, that this is a album cover that he actually, you know, showed earlier in the book, and then we could see how this cover was the inspiration behind this now iconic album cover as well. So that just shows you importance of inspiration, you know, right here and there, you know. That album cover is so inspirational to this band that they, you know, took the font and the coloring and, you know, made this. And this was ended up being something that people, you know, loved. Pink Floyd, iconic. Sex Pistols, iconic. Metallica, iconic. Michael Jackson. De La Soul. What is this? Cyndi Lauper. Queen. Michael Jackson again. Let's get farther ahead. We go Tribe Called Quest. You know what I mean? Wu-Tang. Nas. This is one of the best album covers of all time to me. I think it just encapsulates what this album is gonna be about. It's gonna be, you know, growing up in New York. So he has a fucking picture of a kid, you know, fading into New York. Like, I mean, visual storytelling. This one, The Ready to Die. This album cover is so dope. I love the minimalism in it. So fire. Janet. OK Computer. Super fire. Yeah, I suggest anyone that, you know, is a big fan of music or a musician like themselves who, you know, want to expand their taste and wants to expand their horizon when it comes to references and inspiration and stuff like that, to get this book, you know. Thank you again to Wake Up Zuzi. This was the creator of this book, for making something that I'm probably going to be studying for like the rest of my, you know, life as a music creator. You know what I mean? It's an amazing book. Well, a lot of things to learn about it. You know, fun fact, I think they actually, Rolling Stones voted this one as one of the best album covers of all time. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yep, that's all on the show right now. I don't want to, you know, take away the experience from you guys. You know, I just wanted to show enough. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys are into this, let me know, because I have other books and stuff like that that I would be down to showing and talking about and stuff like that. Obviously, you know, keeping it music themed. But yeah, thank you for watching. You know,